For 10 days now, I've been riding the public transport system in Seoul, and I can say it is clean, efficient, and cheap.
Here are a few things that impressed, surprised, and annoyed me. First, I was impressed by how cheap it has been. Each trip is 1400 won, which is about $1 US. That's way cheaper than my hometown Sydney and many other big cities. All trips are done using your T card. You simply tap on and tap off on all the subways and the buses. The only weird thing is that you can only load money onto this with physical cash. Is that a bit low tech for Korea? Thankfully, English is on all the signs at the entrances to the stations, on the platforms. The only problem I had was on the platforms when you're checking the list of stations, which is quite a lot, to make sure you got the right line. I had to get out my glasses to find the very small English words. I was surprised by how long the trains are, which means the platforms are really long, which means there's a long distance to walk when transferring between lines at the same station. Sometimes it could be like, I don't know, a 1 kilometre walk, which means if you are doing 2 short trips with a transfer, it might be easier to walk to the next location than catch the subway. And here's where I got annoyed. The one problem I had is when transferring to another line. You finally make it to the new line and you need to decide which platform to go down. But there is no information beyond the station at the end of the line, and sometimes they would have the words for a few other major stations along the way. As a tourist, I didn't know the name of the station at the end of the line. I knew where I wanted to go to. In other major cities like London, Berlin, Tokyo, at this decision point, there would be a sign with a full station list for each direction. But alas, not yet in Seoul. This is where I have come to rely on Naver Maps. It's a local mapping tool like Google, but focusing on Korea. It's mostly in Korean, but there are some neat trips for tourists to change to English and how to search for a place name with tags or phone numbers instead of Hangul. I learnt these tricks in this video by your Korean friend. It took me a few days to really get it working, but then I relied on it. When you are real-time navigating, it gives you blow-by-blow directions on your phone or on your watch. And in some aspects, it's actually a little bit slicker than Google, I think. Wi-Fi here works great on the platforms and on the trains. Not the same in other cities. Thumbs up to Naver. Naver also makes navigating the buses doable with the get off at next stop features, and the buses often go much closer to many points of interest. So sometimes I did the bus. However, for me, battery life was an issue using Naver. As a tourist who takes lots and lots and lots of photos, I did not like having to use my iPhone battery for navigation all day. But I am sure all the Samsung fans out there can laugh at my first world problem. What I found fascinating was the amount of stairs and escalators. Be prepared to go down, and then down, and then down some more, far underground on the subway. It was so deep I felt like I'd gone on a journey to the centre of the earth sometimes. But the subways also double as bunkers in the event of war. Now let's hope they never have to be used as a bunker. But it's a pretty great idea to repurpose a massive massive spend in infrastructure for two solutions. If I had one thing on my wish list for Seoul Subway, it would be an interactive map inside the carriage as the train travels, showing me what station is next. This would give me a sense of confidence I'm heading in the right direction. And I was surprised I only found one train with this type of map. All in all, the subway is well worth mastering, as it's useful and Seoul is a lot bigger city than I realised. 안녕, 계세요.